Hello and welcome back to my channel. By the title of this video, you know what we're talking about. We're in a little bit different scenery. We're talking about marriage and weddings and 5 things that are holding you back from getting married. I mean, just get married already. So there's 5 major things that I've noticed people have that keeps them from getting married, and they're valid. They're valid, but sometimes it can be an excuse not to move forward. Disclaimer. This is for people who are knowing that you are marrying the right person. You know you want to spend the rest of your life with them. You have no doubts. The only thing holding you back are one of these 5 things. There's more, but I want to focus on these 5 things. So number 1, money. Actually, but you know what? Before we get into that, I want to tell you how this video all came to be. So I don't know if you've heard of George Janko. He's a very popular podcaster and personality, and he's been sharing his personal coming to faith journey over the past year or so, which is very brave to do. But one of his recent videos was about how he finally got married to the love of his life. And he actually had a video that went up that I thought was so beautiful, and it said, "We couldn't wait anymore." It was something like that. So basically he was talking previous to this about, well, we're looking for a certain wedding venue. It's going to be booked up for this long. Oh, it's okay if we live together because eventually we'll get married. But once they shared about getting married, this is the thing that I hear over and over and over again, is once you're married, it's not like anything you've ever felt before. And I'll get into that later. But I wanted to share 5 things, some of the things he talked about, but these are 5 things that I hear commonly for people who are waiting or having excuses to not get married. So spoiler alert, me and my husband got married after 9 months of dating, and we were only engaged for 3 days. If you want to hear more about our love story, it's pretty interesting. I will link it. I will include a playlist up top and in the description below. But yeah, ours was a very particular journey with the Lord. We basically leaned a lot on the Holy Spirit, and knowing each other was the one, and to actually move forward in marriage. And I feel like a lot of the times we can overthink things or say, well, this was my idea for marriage. This is my idea of what my wedding would look like. This is what relatives wanted. This is what I thought financially would happen beforehand. So the first thing that is interesting about our story is we got married for $50. I found somebody to marry us right next to the water. It was a beautiful location, $50. We went to Walmart to get my husband's wedding ring. And I had a ring that he bought. Where did you get it from? Your mom? Yeah, so my wedding ring was in the family, and my husband actually bought it from his mom. It was very affordable. The only thing that was expensive was basically the flight out to Hawaii, because I lived in Hawaii. It was long distance. My husband lived in California. Part of the reason why everything kind of moved so fast, we wanted to start our lives together. That's what we felt like we needed to do. But money seems to be a factor in why people don't get married, because they think I have to have this much money for a ring, this much money for a dress, this much money for a wedding. And there's a lot of affordable options, a lot of DIY options. We basically eloped, so we didn't have to worry about feeding a bunch of people. We had different receptions in Hawaii and California. But for us personally, the cost was very, very slim. We had a lot of help, people paying for our hotel room and our honeymoon suite. But the rings is something that people, I think, put a lot of emphasis on, because it's like, this is going to be your ring forever. Probably not. If you're anything like me, I'm a woman. I like changing it up. This ring is just a random ring that I found online. For me, it's the symbolism, and it's about, I'm committed. Let me show the people in public that I am taken. But I also have another one that he got me at our 7-year anniversary. Was it 7 or 8 years? Nobody knows. So at 7 or 8 years, we upgraded my ring a little bit. And now I finally got the chance to upgrade his ring. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. I want to thank Ridge for partnering with me on this video. And I want to tell you a little bit about the new upgraded ring that my husband has. So I have a special guest. He's coming in the video right now. Hey everybody, give a big round of applause for Jarrell Connor. Woo! And this is the new ring that my husband has. And I want you to actually take it over and let us know what you like about your new wedding ring.
Wedding ring. First of all, I like this little case. It looks like those boxes for important like camera equipment. It comes with this. What is this thing?
This is like a silicone ring for like if you're working out or doing sports or want a more comfortable option.
That could work for like dodgeball or the gym. This is the coveted band of gold. Would you put it on my finger?
I will. So this is a 24 karat gold plated ring, and it actually has an engraving inside that I'll share with you guys. It's established 2009. 2009 is the year that we got married. So we just celebrated 15 years about a month ago. So this is actually perfect timing to be partnering on this video. It is beautiful.
Yeah.
It is so nice. And how does it feel on your finger?
It feels really good. So like I have some that look like this. They're like just straight up tungsten, and they're really hard, and the shape looks like it. I like the shape and the design of it, which is similar to this, but it's not gold.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them have that hard edge where it's like a 90-degree angle, and that is painful sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I like about this one, is it doesn't have that. It's kind of rounded off, so they really take like care of details like that. It's very simple, but it's well done. You can tell it's well made.
And it's like classic and elegant. One thing about this brand is if you gain weight, if you lose weight, if your finger size just changes for no reason, you can get a free replacement. They replace it if you lose it, they'll replace it if you grow out of it, or it ends up being too big. Because even if you go on vacation, you can lose jewelry and you won't have to be like, oh no, I spent $20,000 on this ring. What am I going to do? Oh no, it fell down the sink. So that's actually great. That's part of the reason why I don't like buying super expensive stuff, is because I will get a little bit paranoid about losing it. So then it's like, I don't want to use it. So this is nice, and congratulations on 15 years, established 2009, and thank you for sharing with them how much you love your ring. How much you love your ridge ring.
I do. I love it, and I love you, so thank you.
You're welcome. So now that we talked about money and we shared it in kind of a lighthearted way, this one is a little bit heavy. A lot of people are hesitant to move forward in marriage because of family drama or family disapproval. I've had my fair share of family drama. I don't really know anybody who hasn't, but I've heard so many countless stories of people where they were waiting for their family to finally approve of their future spouse. And it just took so long that they're like, you know what, we want to spend our lives together. So we're going to get married, and whoever wants to come can come. Whoever doesn't want to come and celebrate us doesn't have to. And wouldn't you know it, after getting married, all of a sudden, certain family members started coming around, or certain family members started supporting you. Or sometimes there will be times where you get married and they never come around. But if you know this is a person that you are supposed to spend the rest of your life with, you can't let other people's approval or disapproval stop you from getting married. But this is a very, very common thing actually that I hear from people, is they wait until there's no family drama and they wait until there's all this approval. And sometimes, unfortunately, that just won't happen. Don't let that stop you. Just get married already. Okay, so point number 3 is going to be, if you're looking to get married at a specific location, but it is something that is so popular, a place that everybody else wants to have their wedding at, and you didn't plan on being engaged for 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, but that's the only time this venue is available, that can hold you back, and that can become an excuse to not get married already. But I want to say there's a such thing as a courthouse wedding, and it's honestly becoming more and more popular. I mean, look at the economy. Not everybody has $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 to spend on a wedding, and maybe you will one day, but just go ahead, get it done legally, and you can always plan your wedding later, and you don't have to wait on, well, I wish I could get married, but we have to wait until this date. It's an arbitrary date, and you can go ahead and just get married already and plan something later down the line, and you can find the venue, and there's not so much pressure, and you guys can actually be planning it together and have a lot less stress and be a lot less overwhelmed because there's way less pressure on you. Another thing that's a little bit controversial, number 4, is to try it before you buy it. A lot of people will hesitate to get married because they want to see what it's like first. They want to move in, they want to see how day-to-day life is, because they're afraid that once they end up living with someone for 24/7, then they're going to not like each other, they're not going to be compatible. But honestly, there's nothing like being in a legal covenant with somebody. Anyone will tell you, I've heard this from Christians, non-Christians, so many people, where they've lived together first and they were having day-to-day life together, but once they got married, the peace and the security that they felt was undescribable. This is one of the things that George Janko and his now wife were saying. They're like, I didn't really think anything would change because we're already living together and we're already dating and in a relationship for so long. But they're like, I can't tell you, I can't describe how much peace and how much safety and how much security I felt. So that's like a really cool thing to hear, is from people where it's like, it's just a piece of paper, it doesn't really matter. It actually does. And from my Christian perspective, there's a reason for that, is because God does bless marriage, and there's a special covenant that he comes in with you guys on when you decide to get married and make that commitment to each other, where you will feel it. It will be an indescribable feeling. So just get married already. Last but not least, and these are kind of in no particular order, but one thing that I've noticed is there's people like on different sides of the whole stability thing. I've met people who actually got married in college and were kind of grew up together. I was pretty young. I was 23. My husband was 30 when we got married. So we figured out a lot of stuff together. He was living with his parents. I was living with my parents. We moved out together as we were married, figured out a lot of things, grew up a lot together. And I honestly wouldn't change that. I think it's just so amazing that we weren't so set in our specific ways to where it was hard to compromise or it was hard for us, because it's already difficult when you join lives, and we were long distance and I moved my whole life and uprooted everything to be with him. So there was already a lot going on besides having to deal with, like, I have my own place and my own rent and he has his own place and his own bills. We were able to start fresh and start only with each other, and we didn't really have anything to compare it to. So I think that was a great thing to have, that fresh start and that clean slate. But a lot of people will say, well, I should be stable. I need to be in my career for this long. I need to be making this much money. There's honestly, and I think we can understand in the past few years how much we really can't predict the future and what stability really looks like. I want to tell you a little story about us when I first moved out to California after we got married. A few months later, my husband calls me and he says, can you pick me up from work? I'm like, okay. So then I go pick him up. He has all his stuff in a little box, just like on TV. And he's like, they let me go out of the blue. So we went from having stable income to having nothing in one day. So even if you're thinking, I want stability, there's nothing wrong with working and having money and wanting to take care of each other. But if you think that you can get all of your ducks in a row and nothing will ever happen to you, you are sorely mistaken. Things will come up. Even just like now, the economy is crazy. Things cost much more than they used to. People are living in vans. People are living in RVs. People are moving back in with their parents. Like, it's a crazy, wild time. So don't let that stop you. You should still be responsible. You should still be looking for work. You should still be focusing on your career and everything. But if that's the one thing that's holding you back from even considering being married, I would just say, think about it, pray about it, but just don't let it hold you back fully from considering the possibility of marriage. Just get married already. So I don't know if you'll agree or disagree with these tips. This is just something that I've seen throughout my life, and even as a married person, things that I've figured out on the spot. So if you agree or if you disagree, I would love to hear from you in the comments. If there's anything that has held you back from getting married, if there's any advice you would give for people after you've been married for a while, that's my tips and advice. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you again to Ridge for collaborating with me on this video. And if you want to learn more about how you can get your own Ridge ring, don't forget to check out the tagged products in this video and check the description box. I will see you guys later. Bye.